Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, here we're going to be continuing our series about the greatness of the Arabic language. And in this fifth session, we're going to be finishing the different verses that point to and indicate the greatness of the Arabic language. In the coming videos, in lesson 6, or part 6, I should say, in part 7, and so on and so forth, we're going to be going over some narrations of the Salaf. So these are the two last verses that we're going to be speaking about in this series. So our first verse is going to be in Surah Al-Zukhruf, where Allah says, "Inna ja'alnahu Qur'anan Arabiyyan la'allakum ta'qilun." Certainly, we made it an Quran in Arabic, so perhaps you will understand. So how does this verse indicate the greatness of the Arabic language? Imam Sa'adi, he says, when Allah says, "Verily we have made it an Arabic Quran," this is the subject of Allah's oath. Allah has made it, because before at the beginning of the verse, Allah is taking an oath, so he's saying that this is the subject of that oath that Allah started the surah with. So he's saying this is the subject of the oath that Allah had made at the beginning of the surah. Allah has made it in the most eloquent and clearest of languages. So Allah has taken an oath, and the subject of that oath is the fact that the Quran is in Arabic, and Allah made it in Arabic. So it shows you that Allah's taken an oath, and Allah is, or the subject of the oath that Allah's taking is concerning the Quran, but more specifically, it's concerning how the Quran is in Arabic, and Allah has made it in the most eloquent and clearest of languages. Then he mentions the wisdom behind it, the wisdom behind it being in Arabic, which is so that you may understand its words and meanings, because it is easy to understand. Meaning that the fact that the Quran is in Arabic makes it easy for people to understand it, because the Arabic language is the most eloquent and clearest of languages, as the Sheikh is mentioning. And this is something that's also likewise explained by Ibn Ashur concerning the same verse in his Tafsir Tahrir and Tanwir, where he says there are two goals intended by mentioning that it is an Arabic Quran. There are two goals intended by mentioning that it is an Arabic Quran. The first is to show the greatness of the Quran and how it is the most eloquent of language. So again, this pattern has been repeating throughout our studies of these verses, where Allah's always emphasized that the Quran is in Arabic to show the greatness of that, and how part of the greatness of the Quran is the fact that it is in Arabic. Secondly, as proof against the opposing Arab, since they did not take heed to the meanings of the Quran as if it was in another language than theirs. So this is an emphasis on what the two letters that begin the surah indicate in terms of a challenge. This book is in your language, and you have failed to bring something like it, because Surah Zukhruf starts with the two letters Hamim. So Allah is mentioning this book that we're talking about here. It's made up of letters like Hamim, and it's in the Arabic language, but you're not able to bring something like it. So again, this verse here is showing us the greatness of the Arabic language, as these two mufassir are explaining. To go on to our final verse in Surah Al-Ahqaf, where Allah says, وَمِن قَبْلِهِ كِتَابُ مُوسَى إِمَامًا وَرَحْمَةً وَهَذَا كِتَابٌ مُصَدِّقٌ لِسَانًا عَرَبِيًّا لِيُنذِرَ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا وَبُشْرًا لِلْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah says, and before this Quran, the book of Moses was revealed as a guide and mercy. And this book is confirmation in the Arabic tongue, to warn those who do wrong and as good news to those who do good. So how does this verse indicate the greatness of the Arabic language? Ibn Ashur rahmatullahi says concerning this verse, and Allah increased the Quran in praising it by mentioning that it is in the Arabic tongue, meaning in the Arabic language, since it's the most eloquent of languages, most far-reaching in the souls of the listeners, and the most beloved language to people. So again, we see how the Arabic language and the fact the Quran is in the Arabic language adds to its richness, and the Arabic language is the most eloquent and most far-reaching, the most beloved languages. Because indeed it is more honorable and eloquent than the language the book of Musa came with, and from the language he used to speak, Musa, with which his companions recorded, and the companions of Musa recorded. So that was the last verse concerning or indicating the greatness of the Arabic language, and Allah knows best. Inshallah, in the following videos, we're going to be covering some statements from the Salaf, like Ibn Taymiyyah and Imam Malik, and other great scholars of Islam.